Hey guys, Jen here. I hope y'all are well. Quick disclaimer here. This is all falling under the Fair Use Act. Everything that I am using visually can be found in the public domain of the internet, and my story is my own. I do not consent to anyone using it, clipping the videos, using my voice or image in any way, shape, or form. So, now that we got that out of the way, as usual, this video, the way it came around was so weird, so I have to kind of take you guys through it. And I apologize, it might take a couple of minutes, but I promise you it's worth your time. It's going to offend some people. I know that right off the bat, so let me also say that I think religion and church, done properly, have a place in society, and that we should all have the freedom to practice our religion that we choose without anyone infringing upon us or violating our human rights or our rights as citizens that fall under the Constitution of the United States of America. I don't think anyone should be stalked into joining a certain church or to giving up their personal information and or DNA to any organization that's affiliated with the government, in which churches are, by the 501(c)(3) Act. If you don't know what that is, you should probably look it up, especially if you're a member of a church. Basically what that means is the government and them are of the same monster, just different arms. So you have the government, religion, and education. Education is literally just, they are found on what campuses, what is a camp, a concentration camp. Campuses are just re-education centers. Everyone's waiting for something big to happen. We get MK Ultra'd every day in our living room with flashing images shown on a television screen. That is pretty much MK Ultra. They don't even need to monitor us, but for whatever reason, they do. This came about so strangely. As usual, I was meditating on something, and I don't believe in meditating and emptying your brain. Meditating, the word itself means to ponder, to think about something deeply, specifically for a period of time until you are enlightened about that subject. I do believe that when I pray, I feel the vibrations and the resonance of higher beings. Some might call them angels. Other New Age people might call them higher energies. I don't personally care what you call them. I prefer to call them angels. I don't hear audible voices. I am not crazy. It is more something that we're all connected to. It is like tethered to us, this communication via our hearts and our souls and our spirits. And I think that's why some of us are monitored, is because some of us are closer to that connector than others. And I'm not saying that makes anyone better than anyone else. I don't believe in personally persecuting anyone for their beliefs. I don't believe in persecuting anybody. There are consequences in this world and the spirit world that we cannot see for our actions. And I'm also going to do a warning video about spiritual doesn't mean that it can affect you or it can't affect matter. It just means that you can't see it. Much like the wind, we can't see the wind, but it can do a lot of damage. And I think people have some misconceptions about what spirit actually means. And again, you don't have to be here. You don't have to listen to me ramble. But I'm glad that some of you do. So the Men in Black, I was thinking, and I'm like, this really bothers me. And I played this game a lot in my head. I think it's very useful, this old Sesame Street game. And I posted a picture of that. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not what it seems. And it gives you a collage. And there's 4 different things in this one frame, like a Brady Bunch type thing. It's split into 4s. And it'll show like maybe 3 fruits and a vegetable. And as a kid, you had to pick the one that didn't belong. I look at the pictures the media shows us, and because I'm a visual artist, I kind of throw out the words they're saying to me for the moment, and I just look at the image. And so the men in black have a lot in common with some other people. And real quick, I want to look at costumes. And what brought me to this as well was that old game called Guess Who. I might bring that up just to show you something quickly. So if we look, the men in black wear what? They wear a black suit, a black tie, a white shirt, and sometimes, you know, a cap and sunglasses, right? Huh. Interesting. Well, let's look at something else. What if you wanted to be, oh, I don't know, one of these guys? What would their costume look like? Well, not that one. Now that's when they're in their actual uniform. Okay, that's getting a little racy. Sorry about that. There's the black and white one. Real FBI outfit. Most oftentimes there's the joke that you can spot somebody who's in the FBI because they usually wear all black and they drive the SUVs. Well, it's also said that men in black who visit people after alien encounters of some kind are visited by these men in black. I apologize for the snoring. That is Sammy. I bring him back here with me so that he's quiet and I can, well, mostly quiet, I guess. So we see that FBI agents also have like their costume, right? A lot of them can be seen in the black and white. You've got this guy here in his black and white. Or we did. He's in his black suit, right? Scully and Mulder, they were always in the black trench coat, black pants. It usually doesn't vary too often. And look. There they are. Alright, so. Now who else? Who else often wears black and white like that? Pretty much the same thing you'll see. It's funny who they brought up. Brad and Angelina from that movie. I have a theory about actors actually being agents. The CIA, they're often portrayed as well in black suits, white shirts, black ties. Not all the time, but pretty often. Sunglasses, right? Same kind of deal as the men in black who visit people after UFO encounters and or alien encounters. Now let's look at somebody else. Okay, let's look at someone. Huh. Isn't that interesting? That these guys kind of wear the same thing. And a lot of them live out in the desert where a lot of these real close encounters occur. The ones that are very close. Okay. So you see they have their uniform and costume too, and it looks just like, isn't that something? Huh. But why would, now let's think about this. When people tell the story, right, maybe they're afraid. Maybe they're afraid of coming out about something and they know they can't speak out about a certain group. So they just give you a visual description. They're not lying, and they're trying to get a message out to the public who's going to hear their story, right? But they can't tell you their titles. So they're just giving you a visual description. They say, well, you know, these men in black, they came and visited us. They had SUVs. Now, I'm not saying aliens don't exist. I'm not saying they couldn't be another type of being. I'm saying that this led me to something else, and it's very, very interesting, okay? Now, so they say UFO conspiracy theories. Men in black are purported men dressed in black suits who claim to be quasi-government agents, okay? Why would the LDS Church of Mormon, be tied up in things in the desert and kind of look like Men in Black. Well, why would that be? And why do FBI agents kind of look the same? Huh. Now, if your brain makes the proper connections, you're going to see that, again, it's all the same beast. The government, the schools, the churches, all of it. It is the same beast. They don't care which one you're in. They just want you in one of them. I think that's why some of us are being pursued so aggressively, is because we don't belong to any of those things. And so they need to find a way to gain our consent for certain things. I'm going to end this as a part 1 now, okay? This was just about visuals and the Men in Black and a theory I had. But then I found proof for that theory. And I'm going to break it down for you in the next video. I will do it in 2 parts. Thank you guys so much for watching. And let me give you a little sneak peek here. This is what we're going to look at next. Sorry about that. This is what we're going to get into next. This is what ties everything together. The alien encounters, which I don't think are particularly alien in nature. I don't, again, think that we'll ever have full disclosure because I don't think they have actual beings to show us, per se, or at least not beings that are willing to show themselves. This is pretty deep, but we will get into this next. Thank you so much for watching. And again, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Turn the volume down if you're watching a story and you're working on your discernment and you want to start tuning that inner truth detector, that bell that should be ringing when you hear truth, that should be resonating off of you like a bell. You need to practice that. Turn the story down, whatever it is you're watching, and just look at the images and come up with your own connections. Let your brain make the connections. We are so overloaded with fluoride and chemicals in the food too. And yes, I said food. I'm not a doctor. This is my personal story. These are my personal beliefs. And I'm using my freedom of speech and the freedom of press. So I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just saying that there is enough evidence out there at this time. Nothing is hidden anymore. You just have to go looking for it. And sadly, you have to know what you're looking for. And if you don't know what you know, you don't know what you don't know. That's where I come in. I do a lot of research to try and reach people. It's all about our genetics for some reason. You say, wait a minute, I thought aliens and whatnot were after our souls and our spirits. Our body back in the day, and I don't know how I know this, but I will find something to back this up. I'm certain of it. Our soul includes our body, right? Just like the Trinity, it's a 3-way thing. Mind, soul, body. There is something very special about us, so we need to stop giving ourselves away to be tested on and hacked up to pieces. For some reason, this is very important to certain groups out there, and there are less of us than there are of them, so we really have to be diligent, and we should be gathering, and we should be as organized as they are. I love you. I don't hate anybody. I'm really fond of the Catholic Church. That's the church I grew up in. I'm really fond of the LDS girls that visit me. I'm not against anyone practicing their faith. The problem is doing things beyond the pale against people's consent. That's the problem. And the problem is overstepping people's human rights. That's a big problem. But natural law is in effect, and this is why we're seeing a lot of corrections take place now. And I think that's what the Mandela is. There's a lot of things out of balance right now. And we have to be participants in fixing that, and we have to be active participants, and we have to give our consent for heavenly intervention, but not of the demonic kind. And a lot of us have to understand that we have a common enemy, and that enemy is the darkness that hides the truth. Okay, I love you. Next, we're going to look into this and who owns these companies. And I think you're going to be very surprised about who owns the most land in America. You got to stop letting YouTubers tell you how it is and start researching for yourself. Because if you start connecting all these dots, it all starts to make sense. More soon.